I'm here at the Red Bank Middle School at the town hall meeting on healthcare reform, and this crowd, I have to say, is probably far worse behaved than the middle schoolers who usually attend events here. A month from now, this kind of behavior will get everyone sent to the principal's office.
How you doing, Jersey? Welcome to Ledger Live. So there I was last night at the town hall meeting on federal health care reform held by Congressman Frank Pallone, and I returned today, I think, a changed man. You see, until last night, I was opposed to H.R. 3200. That's the House bill on federal health care reform. But after seeing things like this, and this, and this, I'm thinking anything those people are against, I should be for. See, until last night, I had thought that descriptions of these town halls as unruly, angry mob shouting matches was probably just TV news being TV news, pointing their cameras at a few yahoos and making everybody look like they're part of some angry mob. But what I saw last night was far worse than anything I had imagined. That angry mob stuff, pretty close. To be fair, there were shouters on both sides. One of the biggest loudmouths in the place was this pro-Obama guy in the yellow shirt. He was far outnumbered by the loud hecklers on the other side. It was constant screaming, heckling, insults. I heard someone yell to Frank Pallone, "You should have been aborted." People heckled this woman, who told about how her developmentally disabled daughter was dropped from her blind husband's insurance plan. One person actually yelled, "It's your fault!" But here's the lowest point, when the crowd heckled and jeered this handicapped woman in a wheelchair.
I was diagnosed with 2 incurable autoimmune diseases. I live in fear every day that I will lose my home, not because I took on some irresponsible mortgage. No, I worked hard my whole life. The copay for one of my medications is $389 every 2 weeks. And I'm afraid I might not be able to afford my property taxes and I'll lose my home. Please hear this voice of the disabled. Don't let the insurance lobby win this fight.
I'm not here to hear everybody's opinion. I want to find out from.
Well, she's a handicapped woman in a wheelchair who's had threatened to lose her. She's afraid of losing her health care.
I don't know how a handicapped woman in a chair has more rights than I do.
Mr. Obama, tear down these signs. There was no debate going on. There was no discussion. There was no listening. And there was no room for a person like me, a centrist who agrees with valid points on both sides of the debate, but hates the fear-mongering and paranoia. Like I said, I'm not behind H.R. 3200. I think we need tort reform, which is not in the bill. I think we need more emphasis on disease prevention than I see in the bill. I don't necessarily think the public option is a bad thing. See, it's a nuanced position, but there's no room for nuance or reason in this debate. I talked to a lot of people as they were waiting online to get into the town hall, and if I even mentioned tort reform, the Obama supporters just completely dismissed me. If I said that maybe the public option might not be the worst thing in the world to bring down costs, they called me a communist.
Send your paper to Cuba. They don't have any more toilet paper.
And a lot of people have criticized the press for not trying to cut through the myths and lies and just report the facts on this bill. But really, there's almost no point in facts anymore. Nobody's even listening to facts anymore. You can't tell supporters that the plan doesn't really pay for itself, which is a fact. You can't tell opponents of Sarah Palin's death panels that they're a myth, and they're a myth. And you can't tell them that the public option is just an option. Forget it. When senior citizens say they love Medicare, which is socialized medicine, but then they say they're afraid that socialized medicine will kill them, nobody's listening to the facts.
You think the Obama plan would kill you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They got.
How so?
How so? Because when I get to be my age, I'm 76, you go to the back of the line till you bring yourself up again. There'd be no value to me. I'm too old to be taken care of. And look at me, how nice and young I am.
Oh, you're dancing. Good. That's a good dance.
I can dance.
Well, you're on Medicare. I mean, doesn't that count? Doesn't that count as socialized medicine?
Oh, I'm working since I'm 15. I just retired last year. I retired at 75. I'm entitled to some help now that I'm older.
Elderly people standing in line, begging for the rest of their lives.
That's a real class guy.
We'll
right?
see what is happening here. This is
What do you mean by begging for the rest of their lives?
begging for the rest of their lives. So somebody doesn't come knocking on their door and saying to them, your viability is no longer needed here.
What part of the bill is that in?
This is the death plan of Obama.
No one is listening to anyone else. There's no room for facts, no room for debate, no room for reason, and no room for a centrist like me. How sad is that? Take it easy, Jersey.